Welcome back, my financial freedom fighters. It's your favorite family member, Money Mill Jr. Man, that never gets old to me. Seem like I ain't seen you all, spoke with you all in forever. Nah, it almost been like forever. I think since earlier this year, Wow, it feels good to be back on here. What we're gonna talk about today is a question, one of the top questions I get asked, and that is, will it hurt my credit score by having multiple credit cards? Now, if you want the flat out answer, it's two parts to that. It will hurt your credit score for applying for multiple credit cards, but it does not necessarily mean you will have a bad credit score or your credit score will be harmed for having multiple credit cards. I know that may be kind of confusing. So what we're going to do is I'm explain that today. Now, when it comes to credit cards is one of the only, if I'm not mistaken, types of credit that affects every category in your credit portfolio, in your credit profile. It's the only credit account that reports to everything in your credit profile when it gets sent to the credit bureaus. Other things like student loans, your car payments, your mortgage, those things do not affect all the categories in your credit profile. So therefore, you will not negatively get hit simultaneously when you apply for those type of accounts or when you have those type of accounts. So I'm explaining to you how the credit card thing works. All right. Now let's say, boom, you just applied for a credit card with Capital One. So what's going to happen is you're going to receive an inquiry. So let's just say you ain't had no inquiries when you applied. You're going to get one inquiry. So you're still in the good range, but it's still going to negatively affect your credit score. Now, depending on how much it affected, depends on how many inquiries that you have. Now, once you receive that inquiry, boom, we're going to put a one right here for one inquiry. Then the credit card going to bounce over to your history. It's going to say, okay, how much history I have. As of now, before you applied to that card, you had 10 years worth of credit history. Your 10 years worth of credit history came from your previous card you had with Bank of America. Now, I know a lot of people like to get multiple credit cards because they do different things, like your gas card, the card you go for groceries, the card that you use for entertainment, the card that you use for travel. We all have multiple credit cards. So you done had this credit card for 10 years. Now you want to have you a specific credit card for doing renovations in the home, for gas, or for entertainment purposes. So from this one credit card, you want to add another one. You want to have two cards. So you got approved for the card here. So what happens is once you get approved for the card here, we're going to put +1 because now you got two cards. So once you get approved for this Bank of America credit card here, because now you got a Chase and a Bank of America credit card, what's going to happen is this 10 years now has to get divided by 2. So you need 9+ years of credit history in order to have an excellent in that category. In order to maximize your points for your credit history, you need to have at least 9 years of credit history. So what happens is, but you got 10. So what happens is this 10 years now get divided by both of these cards. You remember you have two cards. At first you had one card. So it was 10 years divided by 1 equals 10. So you was excellent in your credit history. Now it's 10 years divided by 2. And that equals 5. So now when you had 10 years of credit history, now it's showing to the credit bureaus that you have 5 years of credit history. And if we go to the chart, 5 years of credit history is only fair. So you just went from excellent to fair. Now let's move on. So we go to credit accounts. You had one credit account at first because you only had one credit card. Now you have 2 credit cards. So you were in the bad category because anything less than 10 accounts, you do not maximize your points that you receive for that category on your credit report. So you're still gonna be in the bad category. So you adding that card right here really ain't matter. So now we're going to usage. So usage, you had one credit card at first and you was at 50% usage. So let's just say that credit card had a $10,000 limit on it. So 50% usage is $5,000. We're gonna put it right here, 5K. That's 50% usage. So now you got a second card though. So we're gonna say for this card, just for number's sake, you got approved for another 10,000. So now your overall is 20K. At first, it was 10K. At 50% usage was $5,000 because $5,000 is half of $10,000. So that gave you 50% usage. But now you have 20K. So the 20K added on to here, you're no longer at 50% usage. So now you're at 25% usage. So this 50K goes down to 25% usage. Let's get the black marker. %25 usage. At 25% usage, if we're going by the chart, you at good. So you just went from bad to good for 25% usage because you still got that same 5K right there because you didn't use your card yet. So now this is at 25% usage. So you're in the good category. Even though you're not maximizing your points in the usage, you still are in a better situation than you began. You began at bad, now you in good. So going back over this, what happened is you applied for the credit card, you got approved. Your history was at 10 years, but it got divided by 2 because now you have 2 credit accounts that are open. And then your usage, it had dropped from 50% to 25%. So looking at the model, your usage was positively affected and your accounts was positively affected because the more accounts you have, the credit bureaus and creditors love that, especially when they are in good standing. But your history and your inquiry were negatively affected. So in the beginning, I said it's a 2-part to that answer. It's yes and it's no. So when you are applying for new credit cards, it will negatively affect your credit score. This inquiry gonna be on your credit score for 2 years, but over the time of 2 years, the impact will drop. Your credit history will stay the same, will stay 5 years until every year it goes up. And it's gonna stay 5 years only because you have now multiple credit accounts that are open on your credit report. If you was to delete that credit card, your credit history will go back up to 10 years. And your credit usage was positively affected because you added more money to your line of credit. At first you was at 10, now you at 20. And 5% is only 25% of 20. So that puts you in the 25% range, which is good credit usage because you're under 30. Anything under 30, 10 to 29 is good. Anything 9% to 0 is excellent. This is where you maximize your credit points in this category. So I hope that answered you all's questions. If you have any more questions, anything to ask, just drop it down below. And what I'm going to start doing is I'm going to start trying to create the shorts, the new shorts that they have with YouTube. I'm going to create shorts answering questions. So therefore you won't have to always get a text response. You will get a short video response directly answering your questions. So thank you, family. It felt good being back here. Hope to bring back more content to you all. Bring all the love, all the questions, anything you may have. I'm here for you. Have an amazing day.